All right, you guys, we're live. We're back. Episode 9. And it's still Monday. So anyway, we're back here. I did a podcast this morning with Lance Albert. And I'm bored again. I went for my walk, did my routine, went to the bedroom, went to the couch, all this stuff. And now I got to do another podcast. And here we are. So I got my guest. What does that sound? Are you playing with a pen?
No.
Oh. Anyway, we got Todd Baptiste here from our Reserve Red Pheasant First Nation. And a lot of you know him as the chuck wagon driver. Welcome, Todd. Welcome.
Thanks.
So what's going on, man? I brought Todd on. Everybody to something's. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Do you hear that little sound? That weird sound?
I don't know. Maybe it might be my phone. No?
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I did get out of the house. I did go for a walk, went outside, did some stuff, and now I'm going to podcast. And I told you guys I'm going to be podcasting lots because now I found this new software, and a lot of you are acting like you do stuff, but hey, you're all doing the same stuff as me, just sitting inside and wondering what to do. But anyway, yeah, go ahead, Todd. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Todd Baptiste. I'm from the Red Pheasant First Nations. And I
think you're deadly.
I got the call from Nathan. He wants to be deadly this evening, so why not? Let's have a little podcast here for this evening.
It's all about being deadly.
Well, when you're deadly, we're all deadly.
Yeah, when you're deadly, we're all deadly. Yeah, I brought Lance on this, Lance Albert this morning, and we were talking about the COVID and how that's affecting. Because him, he does outfitting, right?
Yeah, and I did actually. I actually looked at your guys' podcast there and was listening to it, and
he's on there right now.
It's a pretty big topic, and I mean, not only for outfitting, but for what we do, chuck wagon racing, our schedule's been on hold now for quite some time. Our tarp sale at the Calgary Stampede was postponed. That was supposed to have been on the 19th of March.
So let's go back a bit. Sorry to halt you, man, but let's go back a bit. So usually when do you guys start preparing and getting ready for the whole season? Like, when do you guys actually start? Is it January, February? Is it December? Is it year round? When?
Well, it depends. Like, I mean, for anybody, particularly like for myself as being a competitor with chuck wagon racing, you're always looking to improve yourself, looking to improve your teams, looking to possibly bring on new sponsorship that'll carry you through the summer. I mean, without them sponsors, it's pretty tough to be able to go down the road. And I mean, everybody that does chuck wagon racing can stand for that. But for the norm, for the winter part of it, our horses are kept at home. Mine are kept at Red Pheasant. My dad and Ryan take care of my horses there at the farm. So, that's good. I reside in Lloyd, and I work in Lloyd here with a trucking company here. So I'm driving truck as much as I can. So for the norm, what kicks off first for us is the tarp auctions, like the Calgary Stampede tarp auction.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, what it was postponed on account of the virus epidemic here that has been going on all over the world. So that was kind of our where things start kicking off for us, getting to know what kind of sponsorship dollars you're going to be able to have, what kind of money you're going to be able to spend, and how you're going to be able to budget your summer and etc. So it's a huge part to our sport. And along with that, shortly after that, we have another tarp auction in Lloydminster for the Lloyd CPCA finals.
Yeah.
So our tarp auctions are basically the ones that kick off the summer or the spring. And then as soon as the weather starts getting better, the ice and and the horses are always ready to go. But
Yeah.
we have to go based on our conditions, and depending on if, like today, like you said, it was snowing for the last 2 days. Well, for us, we don't want to rush ourselves in trying to get in trying to hurry ourselves in preparing our animals, because they can hurt themselves, and when that happens, that can delay a lot of good stuff for us as far as preparing and getting teams ready. So
Yeah.
there's a process to be able to go. You just got to be able to know, as soon as the weather's good and the ground's not iced up. We start legging up the horses slowly. So it's we want to be able to get about 45 to 60 days prior to the first race meet. And in speaking to that too, I sit on the board. I've been on the board for 4 years with the CPCA, so I'm doing a lot of organizing with show contracts, all the sponsors that we have to get in line, the budgets that have to be brought forward.
Yeah.
It's a big job, and I mean, I do it because I feel like I have a role now, being more of the veteran part of the sport,
Yeah.
with along with the other guys. So
You're the new guy now.
I have to be able to step up, and that's something that a lot of us, when we're part of a competitive sport like that, you got to
Yeah.
be able to you know take take the lines, and make sure they're going to go right. So
Mhm.
um
So
so our
wait,
schedule our schedule
what is that
yeah,
sheet?
go ahead.
What is the need for a farrier SP, and how rare are they? What does that mean?
A farrier is important. Farrier is the gentleman or the woman, there's both of them, that prepare the horse's feet and put the shoes on, the training plates, the aluminum plates, and then trimming as well. So
Oh, okay.
um, yeah, there's a bunch of startup costs, and farriers are one of the more important ones that you have to look after horses' feet, because I guess in comparison to us, you look at it as you not clipping your toenails or whatever it is, and you
Yeah.
try running down the road with long toenails, and I mean it digs into your. I'm just making an example out of it. Obviously, horses are a lot different. They have hooves, but they do. It's a big part of preparing a horse for springtime. So, farriers will be coming in here soon. As soon as we can start with them, and they'll start working on the horse's feet, and then you got to start getting all the preps involved. It costs lots. The startup's huge, and I mean that's why these sponsors are a big part of who we are today, and
Hmm.
there's big costs to be able to be competitive, and I mean it goes wherever you want to be able to be. Like money makes it to be able to be where you want to be. So in saying that
Makes the
too,
world turn.
oh yes, definitely. Yeah, and then our schedule, like our wagon schedule, we don't even know right now. We're all standing on eggshells. Like we just don't know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
and our horses are we still have to look after them. We still have to go about the same kind of things we do normally wise, and just hope for the best. Like obviously, it's for the protection of people and animals, but we got to be able to make sure that we're going to get the green light. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to be racing this year. And right now, our schedules are on hold, so it's going to be interesting. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, but I'm hoping for the best. Working with our board, we're always continuously trying to update ourselves. Obviously we can't be in a group on account of the virus and the number of people that can be in a room, but we're on the phone all,
Who,
all
who,
the time. I mean, without
yeah.
communication, it'll
Who,
be
who
pretty
makes
tough.
the final decision? Like, who's the one that's gonna say, okay, that's it. Nothing's happening this year. Are you guys kind
Well,
of waiting?
obviously,
Are you waiting to see what the Stampede is gonna do, or?
well, it kind of yes and no.
Mhm.
Because obviously Calgary is a place everybody wants to be, right?
Yeah.
It's more or less our Stanley Cup of chuck wagon racing, if you want to put it that way. But Calgary hasn't given any word yet, and we're waiting for that word for us to be able to let everybody know, because all of our competitors that have have been invited for the 2020 Stampede are waiting for that green light to be able to go, and that's going to be huge. But at the same time, you gotta be able to be prepared. Just as in any other year, you gotta be able to, spend the money, even though we don't know if we're going to be able to run or not. But they're going to come with their announcement hopefully soon. And I did see a bit of a news, some news from Calgary. They were the mayor or else the city police or whoever makes them announcements made an announcement
The
here a couple of
mayor,
days.
the mayor
Yeah,
said, I think they said there's nothing going on till the end of June. Everything.
exactly. Yeah. So in saying that, the following week is opening Calgary Stampede.
Yeah,
So we haven't even like we haven't even had a tarp sale yet. So it's going to be a I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a last minute decision kind of deal that. And hopefully it's just not Calgary. Hopefully it's the rest of the communities because
yeah.
Prince Albert's our first stop, and they've already said that they're not allowing any kind of activities or events up till the middle of July.
Really?
So we have a lot of our schedules are already been contracted for a year to 2 years to 3 years in
Yeah.
advance. And we just got to be able to hope things are going to work out for the best of everyone's luck. And I mean, that's just the way it is. It's just tough to see.
It's unreal. Like just like I was telling Matt this morning, it's unreal. Like literally what's going on day to day with all like even all the sports leagues right now, like NHL and
Hmm.
NBA, like they're losing billions of dollars, but even on a smaller scale as a CPCA, the amount of time and money that's being lost already, like you're saying you guys already have contracts and all and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the only way we're able to run at these venues with the communities that sign contracts is to have agreements in place, and those are the kind of things that when you're part of a board, you're always trying to make sure your schedules are full, so that
Yeah.
your membership have places to be able to race. And we want to get those out as soon as we can and have them finalized as soon as possible for not only for the membership but only for the association too, because it takes a whole year. I mean, off season for us to get our sponsorship together with the CPCA. It's a non-profit organization, the
Yeah.
CPCA's, but it's still, I mean, it's still huge money for us to run a professional sport as it is, as everybody sees what we do. So yeah,
Yeah, it's such a because when you guys people only go to like fairs and stuff, literally to go see you guys, right? And
well, that's it,
if
it
I'm
you know
paying
the
$50
fact.
to get in to go watch you guys. I'm not going there to what ride rides or anything. I'm going to watch the Chuck.
Well, that's kind of the commitments these committees and the communities they have to budget as well, because sure, like you said, the highlight could be chuck wagon racing, or it could be Indian relay, or whatever it is. I mean, that's all part of the community's
Yeah,
fair days, as well as we know as we all grew up in North Belford. I mean, when we were kids, everybody wanted to go to the fair because all we wanted to do was ride rides. But at the same time, there was horse racing. There was so many other activities, events going on at the same time that that's good for the community. And bringing chuck wagon racing into an atmosphere like that, it's been around for generations, and it's part of our Western heritage, and that's what I stand for as far as a Indigenous driver, and also not only that, as far as having to be a second generation driver, following the footsteps of my uncle and my dad, and now Ryan. He's behind me, but
well,
it's
Ryan was
been
actually
pretty good.
supposed to be. He was actually going to be joining you this year, eh? Wasn't
Yeah,
he?
Ryan's already booked in to go. I mean, we have 30 competitive drivers this year with the CPCA,
Yeah.
so our numbers went up, which is good.
Do you guys
We
max it? Is there a certain amount? Like you just said, there's 30. Could there be 60? Could there be 80? Or is there?
Well, not necessarily, because I mean nobody wants to sit there for 3 or 4 hours watching chuck wagon race. That's just the way it is. Like you want to have a good performance. You want to be able to have a well organized event,
Yeah.
and you want to keep people entertained. and that's what they pay for. They pay for that kind of entertainment. They come for the excitement. They see the extreme sport, and they just like to see how things are being, run. And people get pretty hyped up when they get to the wagon racing. They know who their drivers are, their favorite drivers. They also want to come see, what these drivers are doing for New Year's, and new horses, and
Yeah.
the atmosphere is pretty energetic. Like, so it's good.
So we got Sequin here. She goes, Todd, tell us about a highlight your wagon career. I'm guessing it was this past summer. It has to be like,
Yeah, this year
yep.
was really my breakthrough career year. 17 years I've been a driver. I basically grew up in the sport of horse racing ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And having a horse family. My late grandpa Nolan Baptiste of Red Pheasant, he's always been a member of the reserve that had huge amounts of horses. So, it was easy for me to be able to understand what I wanted to do in my life. I mean, it was always my biggest goal, or my dream, was to be a champion. And this year, everything just seemed to click. I mean, 2019, everything just seemed to click for us. So it
That
was
applause
good.
is for you,
It was
bro.
huge. Sorry?
That applause was for you.
Thought I was gonna get the deadly.
No, this one too.
I think you're deadly, and I like watching you be deadly.
That was
Yeah.
everyone.
So this
That
past
was
year,
everyone last
anyways, as
year.
I was saying, we won the CPCA year-end high point. We won the CPCA championship truck. We were second in the aggregate at the Calgary Stampede. We were second in the Dash for Cash at the Calgary Stampede.
Yeah.
We won 3 other shows during the course of the year. So
How many races
it
going to last year?
we probably ran close to about 36, I think, by the end of the year. That includes from day one right through the whole entire season.
And how much?
We run 10 venues,
Yeah.
so 10 shows, plus Calgary's being 11th one, the big one of the year, and Calgary being 10 days. So we have fitness to compete programs for both our horses, and they're only able to be able to run so many days per weekend, or whatever it might be. So example is no horse can run more than 3 days. After that, he needs about 2 days off, or else he can run 2 consecutive days with 1 day off. So there's lots of rules for these horses, and also for the competitors. I mean, through drug testing, and for equine and both competitor, there's strict guidelines, and we have to write some we have to write the right amount of things to be able to participate, even under our code of conducts, for the people that are even come around in the barns, and how they have to present themselves. And there's fines that go along with it. So it's
the real
it's
deal.
really, oh yeah, it's a real deal. And you don't want to be pissing around or having anybody coming around. It's not like the old days where everyone used to be partying and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like we stay away from all that. I mean, that's the only way I was able to really be successful, is to run a clean year. And I mean that as far as being alcohol and drug free, and
Yeah.
our horses being drug tested also. So we get random tests every time. We get probably 3 to 4 alcohol breath samples during the course of the year. And in Calgary, you get it every night. And
So
also
you
you
can't
get
even drink it all at the Stampede while you're
well,
racing.
it's you when you blow on that breathalyzer, you better hope that there's a solid zeros, because if there's even a 0.01,
Yeah.
you're sitting, you're not going to race. So that'll inhibit you for competing. And I mean, that's
Wow. That
what's
is
the whole
tough.
point of putting something in jeopardy when you spend a lot of your time and efforts and money, and then just for one night of having fun or whatever, right? So
Yeah. No, that's
but
true.
people do have a few, you know what I mean? Like it's a socialized environment. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the biggest part, is for people to come enjoy themselves and make them feel welcome. And let them see the horses, and those kind of barn tours and those kind of things. So it's huge that way for us. So it's a competitive sport. It's a professional sport. You got to take it serious.
It would be nice if someone and anyone out there who's watching maybe compile a video of all the races you did last year and put it into one, like one of the motivational videos kind of things. That'd be nice to see.
I have a stick with all of my races from Calgary Stampede last year that a gentleman recorded for us, and I mean I watched a lot of videos of myself, and I always watch the horses because there's a lot of things that I can't see just being on the seat versus when you
Yeah.
watch a video, or else I have people watching for me from the stands, and I ask them, what do you guys see? And the feedback is huge for me because when you're racing in a sport that's it's a timed event under the 1/100th of a second,
Mhm.
that's huge. So people have won and lost championships over a 1/100th of a second, and you couldn't even blink your eyes that fast. That's how quick it is. So everything has to click, and when you have the support teams of maybe fans or family, and that are able to see and recognize, say, hey, your left leader, which is the left front horse on the outfit, he wasn't doing this or he wasn't doing that, and that's I have to be able to absorb that and analyze it and figure out what I need to be able to do to be able to make that change, or
Yeah.
adjust it, or put another horse in there, whatever the case may be.
So you can tell when you're ripping through around and you're burning and turning, or what's the saying? You're burning and turning. Yeah, it's burning and turning, is it?
You could say whatever you want to do until you get in there and actually feel it. You'll be
Yeah,
able
that's
to
what I mean.
realize the
Because
power.
you're feeling out. Like, how many horses you got in there? 5?
Four in the outfit, and then 2 outriding horses. So
Yeah.
I'm driving 4 thoroughbreds.
So you can feel if one of the horses are off while you're running.
Well, I for me, it's weird to be able to say this because I guess people won't understand because just the fact that I'm a driver. But for me, I watch the horses' feet when they're racing, and I could see
Really?
how they stride, and I could see how they're able to run together, or if they're running too close to the pole, or if they need to be kind of adjusted a little bit. You have to be able. It's more or less. I mean, to put it this way, it's like a controllable runaway is what I put it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because if these animals wanted to take off with me in the box, I couldn't stop them. There's no way. Like it's just that's how come it's so huge for you as a driver to be able to do your training right, to be able to do all the things you need to do in the spring. Because when it comes to showtime, you got to have your guns cocked and ready to roll. Because these guys, when you're going to Calgary, I mean, they're there to win, and there's no other place that you want to be. And if you're not there to do the same thing, you're not going to have a chance to get on top of the stage. And to be able to do that, that's going to be a lot of guys. That's a lifetime achievement.
Yeah,
There's
it's
guys
getting
that
there.
raced 50 years that never had a chance to be on the stage. And I'm fortunate enough. I've been to Calgary 6 times, and I've been to the stage once already. So, I'm always hoping to be able to be that champion.
Yeah.
And I know now that the confidence that I built, I feel that I can be that champion. I mean, I know I can be. I have a great support team. I have awesome people that support me from the reserve all over the country. I have great sponsors now that are backing me up, that will stand behind me. Whatever we need to do, we do, and
Well,
that's what it
you you,
takes. I
you,
mean,
you were like the talk of the circuit last year, weren't you? Like just the runs you were having and like everything just seems to be working, eh?
oh yeah, it was pretty surreal, to tell you the truth. Like when we go to race in Calgary, and I always say Calgary because that's the premiere of chuck wagon racing.
Yeah.
You can see in these videos right here, like when you're coming around and you're coming down the home stretch right there. This is where I was picking up my speed, and I was passing these guys right at the wire. And
Yeah.
usually, I'm not a person as a driver to be known as a running outfit. I'm
Yeah.
more of a person that people recognize me as being a turning outfit kind of guy.
Yeah.
But that's just the way these horses were. That's just the way they worked, and they just seem to like to be able to run. And I mean, I can run against the best of these guys any night of the day, and run 2 wide or even 3 wide, and still come home and pass them. And for anybody to do that, that doesn't happen all the time. I mean, it hasn't happened to me for probably most of my career to be able
So
to
you
do
want
that.
to be on the inside of the track, eh? Is that kind of
Well,
where you want?
the inside obviously is the shortest way around the track. So I mean,
Yeah,
when you come out of the barrels, you want to be in front because obviously everyone has to pass you. But in saying that, um, not necessarily will you win being in front because
yeah,
you can have anybody throughout the course of the race come from behind you and obviously pass you and beat you at the wire. So
yeah.
yeah, all it takes is for your horse's nose or your horse's ears or your horse's foot to cross the wire first, and you won the race. So there's just no other way to be able to put it. So I mean, you can see in this video here, they're coming around there two abreast, and there's
What does
BJ
that mean?
carries no
Two
weight.
abreast. That's both the horses at the front.
Two abreast is like the guy being on the rail, running the rail is the inside guy. The one
Oh,
on the outside that's passing him would be running 2 wide, so it's two abreast. That's more of a
oh, okay.
terminology as well. What how people would talk about it, eh?
Huh.
But it takes a lot. Like it takes a lot for these animals to adjust from being in the from the racetrack to being chuck wagon horses. It usually takes about 3 years for them to really adapt and mature to the wagons and to be 100% as far as their capability and the teamwork. It's a team effort for all these horses to be able to perform. So not only that, I mean, if I can't control them, then why would I want to use them, right? So
Yeah.
it all comes down right from the horses to the driver to the outriders to the barn help, everybody. I mean, like when last year in Calgary, I had my phone would just be off the hook with people all over the Western Canada, just encouraging me, people I never even knew, and
You were an
more or
all-star,
so.
man. Like I said, man, like you were like the talk of the, like, even people that didn't follow chuck wagons, I think started following just they were wanted to see you because like you were like almost guaranteeing every weekend to win, man. Like that's how.
Well, that was the thing about it, Nathan, is that a huge part of my fan base was our native people,
Yeah,
and that's good to see because
yeah,
it's good to see because we like to see each of us try and succeed in whatever we do,
yeah.
and that's the same thing for me. Like I try and encourage people and to always remember one thing, like never give up on your dreams no matter what you want to be able to do in your lifetime. It might not happen as soon as you think it's going to happen, but
Mhm.
it's the you don't give up. You just have to keep on going and believe in that it's going to happen. And that's what it took for me. Like for 17 years, that's a long time to believe on a dream, and some guys live it for 50 years. But
Yep.
I'm able to share it with everybody, with my friends, with my family, and for everybody that was there, and just to be a part of that, because to me it's huge. And I don't brag about it either, because
Well, you got to
it, it,
stop you
it
right there because I want to tell everyone, and I've had these conversations before. You're not bragging. It is what it is. You worked all your life to tell your story. You know what I
mhm.
mean? And they tell us to be
Yeah.
humble. Man, we got to tell them and tell people like myself and all the younger people and anyone who wants to strive to be something, don't matter your age, that
Hmm.
you're right. Like shit takes a long time, man. Sometimes it
Hmm.
takes 17 years. Sometimes it'll take a year. Sometimes, it just depends,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
can't give up. So you have to keep
Yeah.
telling that story. So I always
Yeah.
tell people, man,
No.
tell your story. You got to tell everyone, what it took for you
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah, and I encourage that to anybody that comes around, that just comes to the barn just to visit, or even a lot of our younger indigenous horsemen that are wanting to be involved in truck wagon race, and they ask me, what does it take to be an outrider? Well, and then I'll tell them, like, you need to be committed, you need to be able to understand your goals, you need to be hardworking. I mean, all the good stuff has to be there. and you can't get distracted because there's a lot of distractions in life, and especially in events that where we're at, because there's always dances, there's always alcohol and all that kind of stuff that can distract anybody, and it doesn't matter how old you are. But for younger people, it's important for them to follow the proper protocols, the proper procedures, not only for themselves, but for everybody else, because when they go out there to compete, they have to understand that it's just not their life, it's other lives that are on that track, that everyone expects everybody to be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
And if you don't take it serious like that, obviously with our screenings that we do is a big step to chuck wagon racing, because we don't want to see anybody get hurt. That's the worst thing
Well,
to be
not
able
when
to
you
see.
got all those horses and all that. That's a lot of speed you guys are going at.
Yeah, because if anybody's watched truck wagon racing, it's a chain reaction. I mean, if something goes down, you just have to have your heads up, and we don't wear no seat belts. We wear safety vests. Some truck wagon drivers have went into helmets. I don't wear a helmet. So there are some safety issues as far as a competitor, but other than that, I mean, she's Western, man. If things gonna go down, it's gonna go down. It's not gonna be very good.
So Sequin asked, she keeps a young Indigenous girl who wants to become one. Is there a future for this type of occupation for her? Basically, she's asking, I think, for an outrider or for a rider like you, because there is a female now that you guys that competes on.
Yes, yeah, no, Indigenous women, boys and girls, women. I encourage everyone. I mean, and the one thing that I'll pass this on, because it was told to me through my generations of my grandfather and my dad. The women have to understand, they're a lot more powerful than the men. In saying that, and they have to understand when their time is, and what they need to be able to understand when they're working around horses, and then respect that, especially with someone like me, because I respect a woman, and hopefully she will respect what I want her to be able to do on her side of things.
Yeah.
And but other than that, yes, I do encourage them to be able to be a part of it, and be able to get out there and ride. And we do have a non-Indigenous woman. She's an outrider. She's been going now for, I believe, about 4 or 5 years.
On your team, or she's just in the races?
Well, the way it works, Nathan, is like there's roughly about 10 or 11 outriders that follow the circuit.
Yeah.
So everybody has a choice to who they want to pick.
Mm-hmm.
And she's one of them 11. So she does have a few rides, and I've seen her. It took her a while to do what she's doing, and I've seen her fall off, but she got right back up and got back on them horses like it was. And I give her a lot of credit. Not just because she's a woman, just because I've seen even younger guys fall off and they don't ever get back on. But this girl kept on getting on, and going on. The rides that you need to be able to go through in order to understand the power of these animals, right? So we do have 2 competitive drivers now, women drivers, Amber LaRue, and another new woman that's from up in the northern part of Alberta that is joining the CPCA in the 2020 season. So the women are stepping up too. I mean, it's just not the guys. Like it's just not a boys sport. The women are trying to be a part of it, and they are a big part of our barn crews. A lot of chuck wagon drivers do have a lot of women that take care of the animals, and I can say this too, like they're a lot more. I guess they look after the horses a lot more. They this better than the guys, more or less. Like there's so much that you want to be able to care for these animals, and they take that extra bit just to make sure their manes are combed, or the feed is topped up or whatever have you, and that's huge because these animals can't talk to you,
Yeah.
and you've got to be able to understand that, and you got to be able to understand how they feel. And if you don't, you won't be successful at what you want to be able to do.
Yeah, no, it's your guys' life, man. When I've hung around the chuck wagon stuff, I've never really hung around, for a whole weekend, but just being like a fan and knowing you and just watching it, like it's man, that to me personally, I don't know if I could ever do that life, because I don't know, I don't think I could ever do it. I could I like going to the celebrations, but other than that, I don't think I'd ever have the balls to hop on that wagon, man, like that.
Well, it's you know what, Nathan. I mean, every year I could almost remember the Stampede committee brings around people like yourself
Yeah,
that have never been in a chuck wagon.
you mean real deadly people?
They normally don't sleep that night because they're just so hyped up, and
Yeah.
we're on the track 5 o'clock in the morning in Calgary every day. So in the morning we take these people out, we put them in the wagon behind me, and we go and we run them through a mock race going 9-0 down the track
At full tilt.
at full tilt, and they get to experience the rumble, the
Rush.
thunder, the power,
Yeah.
and they're just unreal. Like they're just in awe. Or as soon as they come off, they're like, "Oh my god, that is so freaking awesome!" You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm not there to hurt you, obviously, but
yeah,
I mean, if something does happen, it happens. But
yeah.
we don't want to be able to think about that, right? We want to make sure that you have a good experience and be able to understand, and even get up on the seat there and grab the lines and see how it feels to drive some horses. So I mean, it's
Well,
it's
maybe
not a bad thing.
maybe
I
when
mean,
you're on the red chair one day, I'll go over to your house and hop in the wagon there and take me for a rip.
it's a lot better when you're on the racetrack because out in the
Yeah.
field we'll be picking berries. We won't be going too far.
Well, I thought Kim there. He said hello, guys. I thought he was gonna call in here, but I guess oh, here he is. Got a call in. Hi, you're live here on the IOPPS Goes Live. Who calling?
Yeah, this is Kim Fisher here.
What's happening, Kim?
Not too much. How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
Very good, very good. I just want to say congratulations there, Todd. I didn't get to see you there on your successful season last year.
Thank you.
But
Appreciate it.
trying to listen here, see what kind of excitement that you had last year in all the races. Like I got to see at least about 6 of them. So pretty proud Candodian here with you. I just want to give you that props.
Candodian.
This Chad there is a little bit. Just Chad's a little uncomfortable. They said that I stole his name from him.
The Can-Do Kid. Right on, man. No, it's good to see that, and good to hear from you again.
You bet. You're
And
keeping
what
the
do you
roads
guys
clean.
hear about? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we were out there all weekend here, and today we had a big day.
Right on.
And so I was going to say, it's planning to go for the chuck wagons this year.
Well, it's nothing's said or nothing's they haven't said nothing
Set in
about
stone yet.
whether it's a go or whether it's not gonna go. Like we're just waiting, and like I was telling Nathan earlier on the podcast that us wagon drivers are competitors. There's probably about 70, 74 wagon drivers that are going to be training yet this spring, just hoping that the light's going to turn green for us to race. But I mean, if you don't get ready, and then if the light's ready to go, and if you're not ready, well then things are going to go backwards for you, obviously. But
Yeah, that's
it's tough
great.
to say. Personally,
Yeah.
I hope it does go, but I mean, we have to be
Yeah, no doubt.
realistic about it too, and understand. I'm prepared on my end. If we don't go, we don't go. we still have some horses to
Yeah.
train that we bought last year. You know, we'll do
Well,
everything. We
like
gotta
what
take
Todd
care of
said,
the
like
animals.
this could be, yeah, for sure. This could be like one of those seasons where, you know, yourself and your riders get all healthy, you know, maybe your horses get all healthy, you know, update a lot of stuff that needed to be addressed, you know, that maybe you couldn't get out to in the winter here. But, you know, there's a lot
I
of
don't.
opportunities for that kind of stuff too.
Me personally, I don't want to rest because I came off a really good year, and 1 year layout might give somebody else more power for next time. So I
Might
want to go
steal all
back
your
on the track.
mojo, man, eh? Might steal all the
Yeah, well,
mojo.
no doubt. We all definitely want to see you continuing your trend right now for sure.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I mean, it's huge.
No,
And
awesome.
I appreciate everyone too, like all the people that have always supported us, you know, as a fan base, and you know,
Yeah.
even community people, knowing that you
Yeah,
know one of our own is out there, you know, doing the things that
exactly.
making it huge for us, as not only for
Big
the
time.
members, but for our younger people, to give them something to be able to shoot for, like we were talking about. And you know,
Yeah,
horses
yeah.
have always been a really good way of life for a lot of us, even growing up. I mean, even for ourselves here today, you know, our kids, we could put them on horses, and you know damn well that they're going to be kept busy for the whole entire day. And I mean, that's huge
Yeah.
with the way the world is
Well,
today.
it
Like it's
keeps them out of trouble, that's for sure.
oh
Like
yeah,
that's
you got to
another
keep them
thing, you know. Just,
preoccupied.
yeah, 100% about that.
No, but
I'll
it's
let you guys
good.
back to your conversation here, Todd and Nathan. Nathan, you keep up the good work too, and
Thank you, friend.
I'll be listening in here, guys. So
We're gonna have
keep
to,
it
hey,
up.
gonna have to get you on here sooner than later, and I want to put on a musical podcast, so you're gonna have to be one of the guests for sure.
Sounds awesome.
All right, man.
Okay, later, guys.
Okay, later.
Yeah, talk to you later.
Well, I was calling Kim Fisher. A lot of people are like wondering Candodian. Like our reserve is literally, how far is Cando from here? Probably about 10
5
kilometers.
miles.
Yeah, it's pretty close. And Kim's brother Chad, is his nickname is the Cando Kid, and I guess that's what they called Todd there on the trail now, the Cando Kid. Eh?
Yeah,
Why is Cando Kid anyway?
that label came to me when I was running in the World Professional Truck Wagon Association, and Les McIntyre is the announcer there.
Oh,
And these announcers, everyone has a little handle, so I guess that was mine. Mine was the Cando Kid, and
Kid, yeah.
it always kind of stuck to me. I mean, that's the only place people know me as being a Cando Kid, but I never chose it whatsoever. It's just one of those things that you know, the announcer, you know, he has different names for everybody. You know, like everybody has their own little handle, so that's mine anyway.
Well, that'd be good. Well, Todd, we've been gabbing here for a bit, but is there anything else you want to say before we shut her down here?
Well, I just want to be able to thank you, Nathan, for your hard work, and you know, your podcast that you've been putting up for a lot of interviews that we've been seeing, which is awesome to see.
Thanks, man.
The biggest one was your success with the CWS Chase the Ace last year, and that was huge. And I thought that was really good of you doing that. And you know, I just want to be able to say, you know, that's awesome. You're doing some really good work there, and keep it up. And hopefully, you know, there'll be some future endeavors for you as well, and where you want to go, sort of thing, right? So
yeah, this is what I want to do, man. This is what I want to do. I love doing this.
Yeah, and I mean, it's good because you know, I never really expected myself to be on your podcast, because I mean, I just really didn't understand podcasts at the time. But now, you know, it's a way of communication, especially for us right now in this epidemic. You know, we've been staying at home just about every day here, and the only time we leave is to go get groceries, or else if I have to go to work, I still drive truck. Whenever I get a call, I'll be out the door, sort of thing. And it's been pretty tough for a lot of families, but we just got to be able to understand, for everybody that's out there, just to, you know, just do your best, and keep yourselves healthy, keep yourselves safe. Use the things that I've been told, through our elders, by smudging or drinking the herbal teas, anything to keep your immune system up, and keep
Scott?
your family safe. And hopefully, I just wish the best of luck for your family too, Nathan, and
Thank you,
all
man.
the
Thank you.
followers that are following you. That everyone is keeping safe out there, and we'll get through this. We just have to be able to, believe in each other, and hopefully that we don't get sick, and just wish good luck for everybody out there.
Awesome. All right, with that, you guys will be signing out, and who knows, I might do another podcast tonight. Like Todd was saying, we're all stuck at home, and yeah, this is what I'm going to be doing until the world gets
It's
better.
great. I mean, it's a great time to spend some time and talking about things. Everyone has a story to share, right?
Exactly.
And
Everybody has
like I was listening to yours with Lance there and stuff like that.
Yep.
Those are we get something out of it. It's just not a story; it's information. You know what I mean? So, oh shit, I'm holding my phone up. But it's information that we're able to pass on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
exactly, and that's why I do it, because I like to show Indigenous success, and like Lance and you, whoever, and it's not for everyone out there listening. It's not, you don't have to be this big chuck wagon success like Todd, or big company like Lance. You can, like, I tell people, man, a big success is if you were sitting in bed for 2 weeks and didn't get out, and all of a sudden you got up, started getting up every week, man. That's a success, man. Like,
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
it all depends how everyone looks at it. But
Yeah.
other than that, Todd,
No,
I definitely want to have you on again, man. Maybe what we should do, I'll have to leave that up to you, because you know everybody. Maybe try to get some other chuck wagons on here, because we can have up to 6 people on here.
Oh yeah.
Everyone can just talk on their phone, eh?
Yeah, we can definitely involve, some of my board members, DJ King, BJ Carey, Dale Mitswing.
That would be good.
Brian could even come on there. Maybe even one of our directors, whoever else wants to come on there, an Outrider.
Yeah.
Maybe even Amber LaRue, whoever. I mean, it's the sky's the limit, man. I mean, we'll set it up in the future here. And hopefully we have some good news for, our chuck wagon fans, and that we're going to have a season. But until then, all I can share with you right now is we're still waiting. So hopefully we're able to, get back on the track.
All right, man. Other than that, you guys, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next episode. Ahoo.